I just know that they have to have done something because she did not walk off of that property. That's all I know.
Summerwells vanished from her Tennessee home on Tuesday, June 15th of 2021. Summer was 5 years old when she went missing. Since then, not a trace of Summer has been found. Her parents believe she may have been abducted. This is their main theory. But there has been some highly unusual information and circumstances surrounding Summer's disappearance. Many of us have been following this case closely for more than 2 years now, waiting for facts to unfold and hopefully to lead the way to find Summer Wells. It has been devastating for many of us who see Summer's innocence in her photos. At the tender age of only 5 years old, now Summer has been gone and missing. Time has passed and there is nothing to tell us what happened. There have been theories, speculation, and stories that have come out and have gone from concerning and bad to horrific and shocking. Summer's father, Don Wells, mentioned the area has the drug thing going on with, quote, certain groups of people who he won't mention by name, but he says, quote, these boys, they're all related and they think that they run everything.
Seems isolated, but we do have neighbors, you know, and then you got the drug thing going on. And where we live at, you got certain groups of people, and I'm not going to mention them by name, but you got these boys and those boys, they're all related, and they think that they run everything. And a lot of people for years have run moonshine out there and other stuff like that, and they think that they are the Bloods and the Crips of the hillbillies.
Now, this is what Don Wells said. Don also says they've had people come up onto their property, they're up on the hill, and steal various things such as gas and other things.
And we've had people steal our dogs and leave their mutts for as long as we've been there. We've had people come up and just take various things, steal our gas.
Now, unfortunately, officials have gone quiet, but the true crime community has not let go, and we continue to question what happened and question all that has been said by Summer's family.
Summer's just playing in the water right here.
Okay.
I'm just standing right here. All the flowers have died that were there on that road.
Oh, so there were a bunch of flowers here?
There's a bunch of flowers right here, yeah, on this little petal. I don't know what, I guess they've all died now, but.
Okay. And where's Grandma?
Mom's standing right here.
Okay.
And I'm over here close to the edge just because Summer's in the water, you know what I'm saying? That's my thing.
Okay.
And she's just playing, you know, like a normal kid would play in the water. And then Hunter came from wherever he was and come down here and was standing here. I don't want to get all wet, but
yeah.
He was like standing here, and Summer was out a little bit further. They were pretty far apart from like me and your wife is.
Okay. Do you go in the water first, or who goes in the water?
Summer was in the water because I was drinking the tea at the time.
Got it. Where were you at?
I was just standing around. Me and her mom was watching.
What are you talking about?
TikTok. Like, she was on TikTok looking at funny videos. Okay. And then she was looking through Facebook. We just have like our normal conversation.
And like what?
Like, we just talk about what we've done the past week, how long we haven't seen each other for. That's just what we just mainly do, just hang out.
Okay. Does she like you?
No.
Not in that way?
She has a husband.
Okay, but in that way, does she like you?
No.
Did you get that vibe?
Uh-oh.
At all?
Nah, she just treated me like her adopted son.
So this is where she is, though.
Yeah, this is where she is right here.
Okay. And how is she? What's her behavior?
She's jumping around, splashing, having a good
just
time.
Summer.
Just like Summer would always do.
Okay.
I mean, that's how all my kids are.
Okay.
They just splash around and have a good time.
Does she go underwater at any time that you see?
She just dips her head in, but sticks it right back up. I mean, it was only up to here
So
at the time.
where did this idea of under the water, where's that come from? Okay.
That just blew my mind when I heard that. I was like, she didn't even go into, because when she was playing in the water, I was literally taking the TikTok video.
She was still in the car because she had a call to get her phone turned on.
Got it. So mom gets out of the car at some point?
Yeah, at some point, I don't even know what point that is.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so you see a point where Summer is underwater.
For like 10 to 15 seconds.
Okay, walk me through that.
And so I'll go in calm as heck because I know she might just be messing around.
Did you think she was injured?
No,
Could she have been?
She could have been. I mean,
Help me understand that.
I mean, she could have been when she got back into the car, like how the water gets through your lungs and everything else.
Just to watch, and I did different things because that's how TikTok is. You can do different things with them.
Right.
And I was just taking TikTok video, and he come up out of there somewhere, and I was like, just splashed around, and then he threw up gang signs.
Do you know them?
No, I have no idea who that is.
Okay.
And then he started throwing up gang signs, and I'm like, so I moved it back away from him as quick as I could, and I was videoing them flowers, and then back at Summer again real quick. And then he decided to get in the water right there, and he went like this with the water a couple times. I told him, please stop that. She don't like to be splashed.
Okay.
And so he quit and got out. And I said, come on, Summer, we got to go get Grandma's prescription. And we just got back in the truck and left.
And then she bought the Twisted Tea.
Twisted Tea. How many?
Just one.
Just one. And bottle or can?
I think like it's a can. If I could get a picture real quick, I'll show you what it looks like.
All right, go ahead.
It's a whole can, if I'm correct. I just know that they have to have done something because she did not walk off of that property. That's all I know. That's what it looks like.
Oh, okay. So let me show this right there. Twisted Tea in a yellow container. Okay. Okay, cool. You get the twist. She buys
just one.
One. Okay. So a lot has been said about the tea thing, right? And there's can over there and stuff. Now I asked Hunter.
When we come down
tell me
here,
the story on that.
This place was littered in trash.
Okay.
It was all trash down here. Like them teas were all over through there, all through everywhere.
Okay.
There was flowers that my mom wanted to pick from here, and I said, Mom, you better not do that. It's a state park. You get in trouble for that if you get caught.
Okay.
I'm not getting caught for that.
Okay.
And I told her that, and we just walked on back to the truck, but I don't know where that iced tea coming from. I know that I did buy an iced tea from the smoke shop in town, but I bought that iced tea from my mother.
Okay. But then you noticed Summer.
Yeah.
Were you concentrating on Summer?
Yeah.
While drinking the tea?
Yeah, I was staying focused on her mainly.
So you're kind of like the lifeguard.
Yeah.
Am I wrong, or correct?
No, you're correct. You're correct.
And then we stopped at the smoke shop, and I got Mom that twisted tea that she wanted. I mean, there was nothing. I honestly didn't see him drink nothing down here. I don't know what he's talking about. I really don't.
All right. So it's your word against his, basically.
Pretty much.
Okay. On this scenario right here.
When will officials put the pieces together to this mystery? For starters, they could look at GPS and the cellular data that might show a trail of the true timeline surrounding the disappearance. Now here we have an aerial view, which is very interesting. When we look down here at this landscape of Summer's home, we see the home is situated in an isolated location. What do we see most of all? More than anything, we see green. This is a very rural location without a doubt. You can see that it is completely hidden behind a forest of trees and bushes. There is a creek around the property in some spots. Now, you have to remember that when this happened It was in June. It was summer. And of course, it would have been very thickly grown over with the trees and the bushes and everything. Whereas in the winter and fall, the leaves fall off, and then there might be some more visibility in that case. Now, the home, as you see, it's not visible from the road at all. Here we see a neighbor, which is situated in view of drivers using Beach Creek Road. Right here, this home can be seen from the road. But to contrast that, Ben Hill Road is overgrown with bushes and trees and shrubs and weeds. The Wells home is completely hidden and private from anyone driving in that area. Their driveway is long and winding, and there is zero visibility of the home even from the driveway, Beach Creek Road, or from the entry to Ben Hill Road. Either way, it simply is not visible from someone who is driving on the road. So no one would even know there was a home there when driving or walking by. You can see the majority of the area is still forest, and from the road, the Wells property looks like nothing is there but trees. So then comes the question, where would this elusive supposed abductor have come in from, or where would they approach the house from?
You know, we could always hope for a good scenario, but you know, it can't be good, because no matter what situation she's in, she's lost her freedom. Even if she's alive, she's lost her freedom. She can't be seen in public.
About a month after she was reported missing, her 3 older brothers were placed into DCS custody.
We really want our boys back home. If Summer was to be found today, we wouldn't be able to see her or talk to her, and we can't talk to our boys.
Were they in touch with Candace when you were in jail?
Yes, yeah.
But did something change when you got out of jail?
The only thing that changed is suddenly we weren't allowed to contact them at all.
Wells spent a little more than 8 months in the Hawkins County Jail for pleading guilty to a DUI charge.
One of the guards gave me a copy of the New Living Translation Bible, so I found that to be about the best book there was. So I read it several times, because that's all there really was to do. And I was in 23-hour lockdown, so for my safety, they say.
And since he was released from jail, Wells says it's been a challenge to gain custody back.
They're doing nothing to help us. In fact, they're making us jump through all kinds of hoops, which is almost impossible to jump through all of them and hold a job and do all these things. They're making it real tough on us.
Wells told us he has been in touch with investigators over Summer's case.
There's not one shred of evidence. There's nothing. As much as they've looked, and as much as the work they've done, they haven't been able to come up with anything at all.
His wife, Summer's mother, Candus, has also been in and out of the hospital.
Candus has been in the emergency room 4 times for heart problems, and we're looking at eventually doing a major surgery, hopefully to correct the problem with her heart.
Just go to the FBI, the police, and clear it up. I don't know, it seems kind of elusive.
Was he or she on foot? Were they walking? Again, remember, it is quite steep, and there is an area there where there is a creek. There is water surrounding. It's not clear exactly how much of it is surrounded by water, but there is a creek. And so a person would have to walk through that water as well, and then go up into that bush and treed land. So did they walk by? Was this supposed abductor in a truck or a car? Was it a male or female again? Was this a team of abductors? Was it more than one person? Now that would get more attention for sure. And also, if this was a team of people who had planned this out and done this, then I think it would be more likely that someone would crack after the crime, after the fact. There's more chance of somebody letting out some information. And of course, they would more likely be seen, they would be noticed while trying to sneak up on the property if it was more than one person.
It's there, but you want to forget.
On the watch and hypervigilant. That's how Jody Sue Brown was the very day Summer Wells went missing.
There was no TV, no noise at all.
Jody Sue was in her cabin with her teenage kids, 19 and 14, waiting for anything.
We were kind of hyper alert because of property things that had happened the day before. So we were listening for noise. Everything was kind of quiet.
The sale brought a plethora of people to their door, confused about which piece of land was for sale, leading to a dispute of property lines.
While we were out at one point doing survey lines, and there was a flash of a car that went up Candace and Donnie's driveway, something about it struck me wrong.
She and her family next heard a truck door slamming and dismissed it as their neighbors. The next sound was harder to justify. About an hour and a half before Summer is thought to go missing, Jody Sue, her son, and her daughter heard something far more suspicious. A scream.
It stopped all three of us cold.
Her daughter was the first to go to the cabin door. Then all three were there, listening still.
We heard just this kind of shrill, almost animalistic scream.
Animalistic, but not an animal.
Knew it was, wrong. It wasn't a dog, it wasn't an animal.
That vigilance kicking into overdrive. Jody Sue and her son went out to look for the source of the scream.
My son and I decided to go out, look and see what we could see. We went back onto the bank, didn't see anything, didn't hear anything.
They went on with their evening. The kids returned to being kids. Jody Sue headed down her driveway around 6 to tend to flowers.
And at this point, I start hearing Candace hollering for Summer. And then my brain immediately went, scream earlier, this, uh-oh.
Jody Sue was the first to hear those calls and the first to join the search for Summer.
I dropped my purse. I tried to yell up at Candace. I was like, I'm looking, and I started looking.
Jody Sue searched one side of a creek, Summer's brothers the opposite side.
And you gave statements to the police, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Jody Sue had been interviewed many times by investigators, bringing up the scream often. But the sheriff doesn't believe the scream is related to the disappearance of Summer Wells.
She's been interviewed numerous times by not only my agency, but the TBI and the FBI, and we don't find anything with that complaint or information related to this case.
Jody Sue wishes she could go back to just a short time before Summer disappeared and before the scream she believes was Summer.
I wish every day that when I heard that scream, I hadn't tried to dismiss it.
This simply is not a location where a passerby in a vehicle would stop by the road and grab a child. The Wells house is tucked way back behind trees and way up on the hilltop. It's a pinnacle. It is simply not visible from the road. Another thing that you have to consider, to get to the house, there is a driveway, but it is gravel and dirt, and it is very long. It's uneven. It is a winding driveway, also lined with trees and bushes and everything. It is full of holes, and it's very noisy. When someone drives up there, there's a lot of noise due to the gravel and sticks, and it's very uneven. The surface is not paved as you would imagine or that you might see in most city neighborhoods. Of course, there would be the sound of a car motor coming up the hill as well. The wheels might be spinning. You've got to kick it into gear in order to make your way up there. It's not easy. And so you've got to imagine that any vehicle that is going up that driveway would cause, quite a bit of commotion. You would see that birds and squirrels would scatter, while the dogs would for sure have got up and they would have approached to see who's there.
Penny, for your thoughts, Leslie, where are you at?
Honestly, I think Candace done something to her because Candace was jealous of that little baby.
Why though? Why would
Because that baby was getting Donnie's attention.
Oh, okay. So it's a pull between dad or the child.
See, and a little
Is that right? Is that what you're saying?
And a little dark secret that no one knows. Candace's mom told me this one. When they found out that they were pregnant with Summer, Candace's mom was supposed to adopt Summer.
Because she was a girl.
Because she was a girl.
Oh, interesting.
They wanted boys. She wanted boys. But Donnie
wanted a girl.
Yeah.
And he got his girl.
Yeah.
So let's.
Honestly, I don't feel that Donnie has anything to do with it. I may be wrong.
Was he at work that day? Do you know?
We don't know for sure.
Okay.
Oddly, after the fact, we had Dawn come out and say that on that day, the dogs were not on the property. For some reason, he said that they weren't there. The puppies were not there and the dogs were not there, however many it was, if it was 20 or whatever. He said it just so happens that that day they weren't there, but Dawn had left for work at just about, I think it was 7 or 7:30. He said that he'd left for work. He'd left. And so how would he know? You know, he gets home supposedly very late. He gets there 5:30, 6:30, he gets there. It is unverified exactly when he got there, but how does he know if the dogs were not there all day?
All right, so the first thing I want to point out, the first thing that I caught were approximately 13 dogs. 13 dogs on that property. And you can hear when we came in, we were following Candace, and when she got to the gate, she unhooked the chain, and those dogs came out of the woods. They came down the hill. I mean, they knew something was there that didn't belong there.
So that is another, for me, that's a red flag. It's not verified. He's making a statement that he can't verify, and he's saying it as if it's true. So back to the driveway, the dogs would have noticed the sound of a vehicle coming up that driveway because it is uneven. It's a very long driveway. It winds all the way from the road all the way up and round. It would make a lot of noise. It takes a while to get up there, and you have to kick it into gear to make it up that hill. And don't forget, this area is not a noisy, busy city. It is not like that. All right, so basically here we have a rural location, and the sound of a vehicle pulling up or passing by, even if a vehicle is passing by on that road at Beach Creek, it would stand out because this is a very quiet location. So the noises that you do hear do stand out. So this is one of the main things that we have to consider when we find out that Summer's missing and they tell us that someone has abducted her. You've got to wonder, how exactly would that happen in this setting, the setting of Ben Hill Road, of their home? You can maybe figure that out. Let me know what you all think about that now that we look closely, specifically at the location. Now, there are so many theories out there. First off, we had a lot of speculation on the possibility of an accident at the horse pond at Warrior State Park. Now, that happened. We were told that they had taken Grandma to go to get her leg checked out. And so it was Summer's grandmother, also known as Grandus, Candy Horror.
Rose has been missing for 12 years. I miss her dearly. She's the baby of the family.
Hare's youngest daughter and Summer's aunt, Rosemarie Bly, went missing from Wisconsin on August 21st of 2009.
To go through it again with my granddaughter, Summer, is very heartbreaking. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, is what a parent goes through what a grandmother goes through. It's the not knowing is what tears us up. It's the not knowing. The way it came out on Dr. Phil when she was out there. I was not out there. I think it hurt Candace in a way. I don't know if it's helped or not. I don't believe it has. Maybe it's gotten more attention out everywhere.
It was Candace, and then they picked up Hunter, and they were at Warrior State Park. Hunter did say that Summer went underwater, and he went over and he got her out. And he said that he was quite cool about it, and he said that she was fine. But he also said that she might have gotten water in her lungs. He kind of just mentions that.
So I'll go in calm as heck because I know she might just be messing around.
Did you think she was injured?
No,
Could she have been?
She could have been. I mean,
Help me understand that.
I mean, she could have been when she got back into the car, like how the water gets through your lungs and everything else.
Okay.
And how she was in the hot car while they went to the stores and everything.
Now, in this case, we do have people who I would consider to be witnesses. They're all the people that confirmed having seen Summer that day. And it wasn't only Candace, but also Hunter is one of them. Hunter verifies that it is that day. And also Hunter's mother, Allison, she also said that she saw Summer.
When she dropped Hunter off, it was her mom, Hunter, and Summer. And Summer was leaning against 2 gallons of milk. You know, I asked her how Summer was, and she was sleeping. Hunter was on the driver's side, and Summer was right there in the middle.
Hunter gets out. You ask Hunter, or you talk to Candace about wanting to talk to Summer.
Yep.
What happens?
She said no, I wasn't allowed to wake her up.
Okay, so she's sleeping?
To me, she appeared sleeping.
Okay, did it look like to you she was sleeping?
At the time, yes.
Okay.
But now that I look back on it, I really don't know.
Okay.
They left here around 2:30.
How long were they here?
About 5-10 minutes.
Did she get out of the truck?
Nope.
Stayed in the truck?
They had to go right away. They wouldn't.
They were parked out there for about 5 minutes because I was talking to them.
I know, but when you started to ask them, they.
Summer's father, Don, he said that he last saw Summer in bed that morning when he left for work. It was around 7 or 7:30 that morning, and Summer was there. I think he said that she was even like on his leg or something. So not only did he see her, but that he was there with her. This is the confirmation that he gives, and that is confirmed by Hunter, saying that it's the same day, that Tuesday. It seems kind of odd when I think about this. You know, it's not like after a weekend. It's not like a Monday. It doesn't happen on a weekend, but it happens on a Tuesday. So then we have Candace and Summer's grandmother, Candy Har. Like I said, we call her Grandis. And so they spent the day with Summer along with Hunter. And Hunter is a teenage boy. I believe he was 15 at that time. He is a friend of the family through Candace's friendship with Hunter's mom, Allison. Now, by the time we find out about all this, of course, it's after Summer went missing. We find out about, Candace and Summer and all of them. And at that point, Allison and Candace, they're not friends. And so we find out that for some reason they had some kind of a fight between them, but Hunter continued on with Candace regardless, and Allison allowed him. Regardless of how she felt about Candace, Hunter was allowed to go with Candace. Okay? Now, there is a lot of talk about the possibility of, questions of the relationship between Candace and Hunter. It does seem odd because Candace has 3 of her own boys. Candace has 3 sons, and her 3 boys were left at home, and in place of her own 3 boys, who might have liked to have gone to the horse pond to swim with their sister Summer, they were left at home, and then Candace decided to take Hunter.
I'm gonna use this as a reference.
Okay. And why is that?
It's a phone.
No. Okay, go.
I was gonna say that she texted me saying that her grandma was in the hospital.
Do you have those texts?
No, the TBI has my phone.
Got it.
I'm just using her dad's phone.
Okay.
Well,
Your grandfather that passed away.
and so she pulls up, she gets out the car with Summer, and supposedly the kids went to work with the father. And so
Now you say the kids. Who are the kids?
Wyatt and Josie.
So the boys.
Yeah, the boys.
Okay, went to work with Dawn.
That's what I was told, yes.
Okay.
When questioned, there was some confusion as to exactly what Allison saw. It's not smooth sailing. As far as if there is a story, if they're following a script, if they are following a script that they couldn't iron out, that maybe they had gone over what they were going to tell as a story, is what I wonder. But CANDUS didn't remember things or relay events. She didn't tell the story the same way that Allison did. Okay, CANDUS and Allison, they tell the story in a different way. So Allison said that she went down to the road when CANDUS returned home with Hunter. Allison said that she saw Summer sleeping in the car and that she regrets not giving Summer a hug, but that CANDUS wouldn't allow her to, and that CANDUS kind of just rushed off. But CANDUS says that Allison didn't come to the car. All right, so it's that, how can you forget? It seems kind of odd, because Allison is saying that she went to the car and saw Summer and that she wanted to give Summer a hug, but that CANDUS wouldn't allow it. So obviously CANDUS saw Allison, but CANDUS is saying that Allison didn't come to the car.
And then I was like, Hunter, you're not coming to the house. I'm sorry to tell you, but you're going back to your house.
Okay.
And I took him back to his house and dropped him off and left. And Summer was still awake when I left his house.
Okay. Okay.
And Allie did never walk to the truck and try to talk to me or
okay.
I tried to get her to come over and talk to me, but she wouldn't.
Okay.
All right. So this is one part of the story that is different. You have to kind of wonder, why is that? Why is CANDUS saying that? And then there's a lot more. There's a lot more things that we don't really find out about. It did come out after, I think it was after about a year, maybe more. If it was a year or a year and a half after we found out that actually there was someone there working at the horse stables, and that woman said that the vehicle, the CANDUS's vehicle, was there at the horse stables at Warrior State Park. She said it was there most of the day. The vehicle was there most of the day. Then there's the question of the shopping, how much time they spent. Hunter said it was just about an hour. They were in there for a long time, but CANDUS says she was in there for 5 minutes. So that is, I guess, possibly just their comprehension of time. But it seems like CANDUS wanted to make that seem short, that she did it really fast, that it was only 5 minutes, whereas Hunter is saying that it took a long time. It was about an hour. And so Hunter is there supposedly sitting right beside Summer. He is in the car, is what he says, and they're there watching, they're using their phone or their tablet. They're watching stuff on the screen, and that supposedly Summer is fine. She's there with him and she's fine. This is what we're being told. Then there's the whole story from CANDUS. When they do get home, she says that Summer does get home and that Summer gets out of the car. CANDUS says that she has the boys help her to unload all of the groceries. And so that makes me think that there's quite a bit of groceries because the boys are helping to unload. And there's groceries there for both CANDUS and her mother. And so what CANDUS says is that they have to sort out the groceries, and that is what they do. They kind of take out the stuff that belongs to Grandma, to Grandus, and they give it to her, and then they sort it out. There's stuff there. There's more than just milk. we don't actually see the groceries. When we see the video of Summer, we're seeing Summer in the back, and we see 2 containers of milk, which Summer is leaning on that milk. And we don't see, it appears that there is a box there. So maybe there's something in a box, and there might be a bag lower down, but we don't see anything else. So possibly they had put stuff in the back, in the truck bed, is what Hunter says. He calls it a truck bed. And I think that he's not really aware. When he's asked about the milk, he doesn't really recall, but he's more so reminded about that. And you kind of have to wonder who was sitting at the front. You know, some people have speculated whether or not it was Allison who was there when that video was taken, but we really don't know who it is that took the video of Summer. And then the camera moves over and we see CANDUS driving the car. It does seem very strange. There's been a lot of information put out, which kind of makes you go in a completely different direction. Summer's father talks about the possibility that someone has Summer. That goes against the story, that the idea that there was an accident, and it would take you in another direction. So that definitely would be a red herring. If it's being pushed that, I mean, at this point, there's so many theories. Some people think that she was adopted. Some people think that it's an abduction. Some people think that she was sold as a debt, that there was some kind of a debt that the family had to pay off. Some people think that this was something which was reoccurring, and that it was set up by either Dawn or CANDUS, or both of them. You know, there's odd things that have come out from the family, saying that in the past, Summer's dad had tried to sell another child. This is something that was told, as everyone knows now, that one of the family members came out and said that happened in the past. So at this point, there are so many different theories that it's difficult to really not only focus on one, but it kind of becomes almost like a needle in a haystack, that there's just so much out there and people are stuck on their own theory, and so possibly looking away from the truth. They're being led astray, in other words, is what I'm saying. I mean, if this was an accident, then that's not as bad as parents who would have sold a child. It's simply not as bad. So why would they want to put that out there is the thing that I don't understand. And of course, there's the whole issue of CPS. And I think that goes together with this, because CPS was there. CPS is a part of their, of the issues that they're having. Also, the boys have been taken. The other 3 boys have been taken away. And that tells me they want those boys to be safe. They want those boys to be away from those parents. It's probably indicating that Summer was not safe. And so I don't know exactly what it is that CPS, maybe they were warned. I know that they were warned by Allison's mother, didn't like them. There was a lot of things they had noticed about CANDUS. There's the whole issue about the creepy guy on the hill. And so there's a lot of creepy stuff happening. There's a lot happening there which is not good. And Don himself says that there's a lot of activity around there, drug activity. He brings these ideas into the story, but he brings a lot of stuff in. He has pointed out so many different possibilities, but he hasn't said that it was an accident. For some reason, they haven't. That's the one thing that they're not saying. They're not saying that it was an accident. and he's not talking about Summer at Warrior State Park. As far as the ladies there, Allison, her mother, her grandmother, they have said that they think that it was CANDUS. They've said that that's their point of view. They've said it, it's on camera, and that is what they think. But the strange thing is that they should know if something happened at Warrior State Park, then Hunter would have told them, and so they would know exactly what happened. But they're not, other than what Hunter said himself, that Summer had gone under, they're not saying that it's an accident. Hopefully somebody will come out somehow, get the information, get the truth out there. Someone maybe can just somehow send in a tip and allow law enforcement to get on the right trail. I'm not sure what they do have at this point. I don't know if they're close maybe to breaking this case, but it just seems like we have so much, weird information about this family, and yet it seems that law enforcement is not able to do much with what we've had so far. So that is basically what's going on right now. There are some channels who are going together with Dawn and Candace, and I think it's good that they're out there talking. Let them talk, let them maybe give some information, and it's better than them just going off and hiding and not hearing anything from them. So that is the way I feel about it. If they want to come out onto YouTube and do interviews, regardless of they decide what they're going to talk about. If they don't want to talk about Summer, they don't have to. There's got to be something. There's got to be some pieces of this puzzle, some truth, some facts, which law enforcement can actually get a grasp of and put together in order to find out what really happened. So guys, please leave me your comments. Let me know what you think at this point, if your opinion has changed. I know a lot of people, maybe not, I'm thinking the majority still have a lot of suspicions on the family, but there are those people that comment and actually think that this possibly was an abduction, or even that maybe Summer just walked off. That she walked off and that she got lost. But now it just seems that there's too much water under the bridge. There's too many crazy stories at this point. If she simply had walked off, then what is all this other stuff? What is all this crazy, the crazy stories, the horrible information that, like from Don himself, he said that he's heard of cases where he's seen it with his own eyes. That he's, in hotel rooms or whatever, the horrible things that he speaks about. It's really, really, really sickening, the reality that he's talking about. So it's very concerning. But anyways, so let me know where you all stand. And please help to get this story out by sharing this video on your social media. Again, Summer was only 5 years old when she went missing in June of 2021, and she will be 2 years old now, 2 years older. She needs to be found, and the truth needs to come out. If this is a horrible rat's nest of sick people, it needs to come out, and law enforcement hopefully is dealing with this. Thank you all so much. Thank you to all of the channels, actually, that keep Summer's name out there. There's so many of us that have been following the case, and we want some sort of justice for Summer. She already saved her brothers. It seems that they are, I guess, in a better place. And hopefully they are safe and doing well. And hopefully next will be justice for Summer. So thank you very much for joining me, and bye for now.